got caught out on the rotation. Team changes with a Valk or better octane rotations with Gibby for shields.
Well, and Stella, we saw, I mean, day 1 for North America, day 2 for EMEA. We saw some very interesting results from the attempt to use the Valkyrie ult. Is that something that we've seen a couple of instances where she was used, that ultimate was used today, but, you know, at this point, I'm interested to see her being used in a way that is a little bit more impactful.
Yeah, with the way that this first game played out, there were a lot more early game fights, so I'm not really sure that her ultimate will be used too much because it's a little bit too much more of a liability, especially with teams this good at aiming. So I think if teams are going to use Valk, they're going to try to use her Q ability, which allows her to stun teams, and then they can move in on a team fight.
Well, that'll be something fun to watch for sure. Something else fun to watch, those Game 1 results, because we all know it all comes down to the points. It all comes down to placement and kills, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to get you into the finals. What is up, Sentinels? My Little Phony coming in hot with double digits, girl. Double digits in this lobby is crazy.
Both teams surely did slay out, and that's perfect for them. And it's honestly not too bad for the other teams. If it is a top-heavy lobby, then the other teams will more likely have a chance to catch up to get into those top 16 teams to advance for championships finals.
Absolutely. Just pull in all of those kills. You just want to be on a killing spree, to be sure. Let's take a look at our overall results. I mean, this, of course, the overall results will change a little bit as we go on. Obviously, it will change a lot, I should say. But this is going to look a lot like we just saw here. And again, these are our overall results for the stream you're watching now. That's Group A versus Group C. Of course, Nicewig over on our North American influencer stream, our secondary stream. He's got B and D groups today. So we will come back at the end of our show, at the end of those 6 matches, to compare all of those points from all 4 of the groups. But in the meantime, this is what we're looking at today. I mean, there is some stuff to be said here. And I will say, My Little Phony, Sentinels right on their heels, Stella. Right on their heels.
Yeah, this is, this for a first game, this is a lot of points that My Little Phony has gotten, and Sentinels is not too far behind. But you can't count out any of the other people here because we did see TSM make a huge comeback 2 days ago. So I want to say this was a warm-up match and a pretty good one.
Yes, it was. Absolutely. And I will say there's some momentum. Girl, do you agree? Warm-up match or just the beginning of My Little Phony's domination?
I absolutely agree with Stella. It's all about consistency. They have 6 games today and then 6 games remaining for day 3. So whoever can perform throughout with consistency.
With consistency. Agree to agree. Hey, here's something you can all agree on, our North American community here. And actually, our North American fans, you can be from all over the world. We don't mind where you're from. But we do want to know who you think is going to come out on top here today. Who you think has got the guts and the glory to make it to the top of this Group A versus C matchup. And the way to do that, well, you're going to go ahead and take a look at the screen. Whatever you need to do, take a picture on your phone, screen grab on your laptop or computer, but go ahead and take a look at what we're doing here. Use the hashtag and those team names. Use them in our Twitch chat, in our YouTube live chat, on Twitter. We are going to aggregate every time you use that team's hashtag. We're going to bring it into this very graphic, and we are going to be checking in throughout the day to find out who it is you have crowned the winner of this particular face-off between Groups A and C. Never mind those points. We want to know what you think. And I guarantee TSM will be towards the top because their fans are relentless, and I love them for it.
Absolutely. Go vote for your favorite teams. Go vote for your friends. I'm sure you won't lose much, and it'll only make someone else really happy.
100%. Now, here's one of those things that we always like to say, which is a huge thank you to our community. We've mentioned it before when we talked about pricing, because the reason that prize pool is up to $2.58
I really want to talk about how they were using Revenant's ult to really push fights and encourage third parties. Even if you don't commit to a fight, it still draws attention from other teams, so they could potentially come in and try to finish the fight for you, and you can come up and clean up the crew. And I really love how they did that early on the rooftop fight, They used Revenant's Q to cancel abilities, which was huge on that Gibby, because Gibby's Q can
in our group stages has got to be how impressive and how useful and how, in some cases, imperative it is to have that Gibraltar, especially in the late game. Are you seeing the same thing?
And also,
Yeah, absolutely. But unfortunately, Sentinels, they didn't have Dome there at the end. So the Gibby actually got shot in the back for 120 just so easily. So unfortunately for Sentinels, the Gibby didn't work out for them. They were just too close to that other team, Alpine.
Absolutely. Now, I will say it is an interesting.
y vayan haciendo stream donde cada vez que alguien se suscriba o no sé si dona, como que le aumenta el tiempo en el que se supone que él esté streameando. Ya lleva 33 horas. El máximo es 72. Y posiblemente sí lleguen a las 72.
The best player award. Imperial Hall all the way.
Ya está empezando el otro lobby.
Really peep the crafter, but the purple bag isn't the crafter. Doesn't make too much of a difference, but I would like to see if anyone actually does utilize that today and what they actually put in it. For me in combo, I would definitely save extra cells and batteries on one person and then have someone craft another bag and let them save all of their meds. I mean, not all the meds, all of their grenades and such, but I'm not sure how the competitive meta has now switched to that. That's how it used to be, and that's how it is for when I was playing, so we'll see. All right, as we load up Game 2 of the NA B versus D lobby Apex Legends Global Series Championship Series, game number 2, and I believe there's only 2 cryptos still in the lobby. I don't see anyone switching it up. Kenny's still on the crypto, Fruit Ninja's still on the crypto, and Xset is not performing as well as I thought they would with the crypto. I'm extremely surprised by their lack of gameplay today. And on day 1, I thought they were going to perform better. I thought they were going to do all that, but they're kind of a little lackluster this tournament so far, and I'm hoping they pick it up as well because Fun FPS is one of the best players I know, along with Kenny and Claim. So let's see who pops off and wins this game number 2, baby. Let's get right into it. And again, no one is really landing on each other, so we're going to peep the map. If you don't like the map, sorry. Not really that sorry. I like to look at the map. I like to see the rotations. It's extremely insightful. Get over it. Build a bridge. I'll build you one. Probably not. I can't even make one out of popsicles. But we're looking at the map when it happens. And as we drop, look at everyone flooding to their drop spots. Again, no one really landing on each other. Everyone is here. No one was not able to connect, which is great to see. Everyone's internet did come back out. And Renegades is going to be making their way over into Tree. And that is a long fight pattern for them, but they're going to actually make it there successfully. Which, as a controller boy, you know I ain't making that as a controller boy. Yeah, I ain't going over here to here, but Resolved and the crew did. And it's going to be another Southside ending, giving Energy and G2 a game to make up. And look, it's going to most likely be a chokeside ending. And the Southside circle does return, making its way back. It's like the Darth Vader of Apex Southside circles. And it's going to be making its way over in the choke thermal. And we're going to be hearing about that on Twitter, you know what I'm saying? But I don't mind these circles. I actually think this circle's pretty fun to watch. And this is going to be really bad for Kimchi and them taking this refinery. AM, which is Absolute Monarchy, and Kodagami. All these teams rotating in are going to have a really, really hard time. This is going to be great for Six and the boys. And TSM Abrelli, this is nothing new to them. They performed amazing on day 1 with very hard circles. And again, no one fighting off these rotations at all, off these drop spots at all. And everyone's going to have a pretty lackluster drop. And just kind of like, enjoy themselves a little bit, vibe, get the loot, and then watch it all fall apart. And when they die in 19th place, and then you're just like, why did I leave for 20 minutes when I just died so fast? I'm so sad. That's my mindset. But there you go. The gold bot coming out. Let's see what he gets. I'm guessing purple armor, turbocharger. Go to it. Purple armor, turbo. All right, he's not going to get the bot here. The bot was shot, but the bot will not be recovered. It was a gold light mag. Bronzy did get it. Gold light mag. Okay, I was wrong. Are turbochargers even in the game anymore? Whatever. Probably shouldn't ask that as the caster of this game. Okay. And again, all Gibraltars on these teams. 18 teams with Gibraltar, 2 with caustic. Some with crypto, some with not. Only 2 cryptos in these games. And to me, I think crypto's really bad for Apex. Competitive. I don't think he's good. You didn't hear from me, though. Don't clip that. And all these teams are going to start rotating in. Energy already at the choke spot. They actually, this is how fast Energy rotates. They beat G2 to the choke when G2 actually lands thermal. So this is how fast Energy works. Xset and them are going to be making their way over to the houses, which is the second best spot. And funny enough, as it ends on G2's territory, they actually might get the third or fourth best spot for this circle, which is crazy to think about. Actually, as I say that, Xset decides to rotate out, and they're actually going to go into the Dorito instead of taking these buildings, which is going to leave this free for G2. A lot of these times when you see this happening, G2 does fight Energy fairly quickly inside the choke spot because G2 doesn't like when someone takes their favorite spot. They like to fight for it, and they will cause commotion just to get to where they want to be. So I'm hoping to see a G2 versus Energy fight here in the choke and see what happens. And we're going to keep looking at the map here as more teams start to rotate in. Ak and company are going to be rotating into Kodagami. And let's see if they do take a fight over in this train. Taking a fight here can be very bad for both teams as third parties are almost inevitable fighting here. Ak's going to get the crack off. They're going to say, yeah, screw that, man. Let's just leave. They're going to rotate on the bottom side tunnel now, going over into staging, and they should be free. No one is on that side other than Musin and Mercy. And Musin's going to be flying in on the Valkyrie as we keep over to them, and they're going to be trying to scope out areas where they can go. And I actually think they might be free landing Dorito unless Xset is still sitting there. They're going to be landing straight on top of Xset. They have no idea. Xset popping out, and they're going to be panicking now, and they're going to have to take the bottom side. And they're nervous. They are definitely nervous, and that would scare me too. More shots coming out from Xset and Co. And they're going to get shot from topside staging. And Valkyrie couldn't save them there with the scans. And they're going to be chilling on the bottom side here. And I think they're going to be okay for a little bit of time. And not have to worry about too much with the caustic barrels coming out on the bottom cart. And more teams on the top fighting. As we watch Xset and company trying to look over on teams. Claim with the gold armor on Octane. Love seeing a control boy on the Octane. Kenny is also control boy on Crypto, which is very, very rare as well. A grenade could be huge here. Good nade coming out with the frag. Gonna get charge rifle, but he's gonna keep peeking. He wants to be aggressive on these kids and make sure that they don't actually take their spot or get aggressive onto them. Klein establishing dominance, good pokes, everything. Has the gold armor, so peeking's not a big deal. Only 135 ammo on flatline though, which is pretty tough. And he's gonna continue to waste it. Actually, it looks like here. I don't think this is the right call at all, but he's gonna continue to shoot some shots.
El de Nightwing es el del grupo B contra el grupo D.
The armor drop shouldn't even have happened, but that could have been a free opportunity for Klein to kill him. Doesn't get to recognize it quick enough. He's going to back up here.
Y aquí empezando el segundo game del grupo A contra el grupo C.
Kenny getting more damage for those armors. Blue, gold coming out. And the armor checks. Oh my god. Kimchi and them rotating it straight into Serial. And they're going to be actually be routing. The scan does come out, so the routing doesn't even matter anymore. And it's going to be a Kimchi's team versus Serial's team type fight. Serial whipping out the drone here. Going to be going on the Game Boy. Hopefully to get an actual good ultimate on this.
There's a couple priority positions to hold. Sentinels is in one of them. This is one of the spots that we see a lot of our top teams go and lock down. And on the rotation, TSM actually picked up a kill. Hal gets one on Sync, and that was before when they were fighting over towards the Fragment West side. That's actually the second kill of the game because Pupstars was able to re-res their teammate over towards the construction building. So we've had 2 kills in this game, and TSM did pick up one along the way. the survey camp area where it's going to end. That's why the teams are trying to get towards the choke, because they want to make it towards that respawn building, that beacon building, and pick up a lot of kills and then make a late rotation, because whoever comes in on the very south side of this zone is going to pick up a lot of kills, and they're going to have a huge advantage on the high ground from all the teams that are fighting inside survey.
You can already tell TSM moving quickly with intention. Last time felt like they got caught unawares. Complexity ended up feeling that exact same position only a few moments afterwards, to their chagrin. And now, you know, I think that's a big lesson, especially in game 1, too. That's almost where you want to take your biggest misstep so that you can correct it and learn. Above them, though, the leaders of Group C. It's Alpine and RKN, Hill, Urice. In fact, Cole, he had mentioned a little earlier today, off the Valkyrie, and obviously opting for the Crypto, Gibraltar, and Octane lineup. How do you feel about that?
I think this is great. I think Crypto is super underutilized because how difficult he is to pull off in these type of situations, and Alpine has found themselves in a very great spot for Crypto. Holding the top of Epicenter here is going to be huge, and it's going to be annoying for TSM to have to deal with this, because you're having a drone fly around, you're wondering if they're going to try to EMP you, and you're constantly just dropping your shields over and over again. But they're going to make a crazy rotation over towards the downward side because they realize the information that they get off of that drone. And it's surprising that actually My Little Phony is electing to go with Gibraltar, because sometimes that Octane Revenant comp goes really well with Crypto, but here it is. It looks like TSM is going to try to catch up to where Alpine's going, but they understand the situation. They can't overextend. They can't make their way out unless they use a jump pad, and they are going to use the jump pad.
And that's the difference between having the Crypto and the Bloodhound, and the fact that you can just get these drone scans for free where you're set up, and it's going to be reps and snipe down who have to trudge their way to one of those beacons if they want to find the information. So sometimes following a Crypto team can just be what you have to do. They take the high ground, though, instead, so not a full follow. Imperial Hal with the flatline iron sights. He sees it, cracks a little bit of damage off the way. Not quite a kill yet, but definitely threatening. And he's going to go into the void and get back inside. Hal looking, does I chase that, he says. And he's going to recline, stay a little more relaxed as well. Still a lot of game left to play with round 1 closing. 20 squads still left.
He's also running around looking for a little bit of loot and some extra ammo that could be on the ground, because 100 shots for that flatline, we know how much Hal likes to rip into his opponents, and that's just not going to do. And we're back on board with, actually, that's going to be Error Eternity, who we saw them, excuse me, in the Beacon building, and now they make a rotation outside of that, and they get caught out by Space Station Gaming, who's coming on from the Skyhook side.
SSG, one of the great orgs that have jumped into Apex Legends in the past month. Excited to see them performing at a high level. See Zanile and Frex clarify. They want a big performance today. Are they going to do it? There's one team out as well. It's ERA. That is going to be it. They seem to be the first team down in game 2. Wow, Moni looks to spray and pray with that 30-30 repeater. Not a weapon. I always talk about this, Tom, that people find to suit the job for what competitive requires. It's usually the G7 or something a little lighter like a wingman flatline. Why is that?
Well, a lot of people just don't think it's as strong as a gun as I believe it actually is. And one of the things about the 30-30, which I feel is really great, is you're in that medium to long range distance, but it's still utilized where if you get enough damage and you have an Octane or someone that can play aggressive, you could close the gap fast enough by the time that they actually heal. And that's the key when you decide that you want to push here. Depends on how much damage you do.
ALGS de NA, sí, X-Like.
150 and you hit 3 shots.
Son las ALGS.
And sending it.
Sí, voz en inglés.
They're in a pretty
Sí,
good
sí.
spot, though, and Zanile already creeping forward. Let's take a listen in and see how they want to play this one.
El grupo A contra el grupo C. Y en el stream de Nice Week están viendo el grupo B contra el grupo D.
That's all good. I have a ton of cells on nudes. I'm 114. I need bats. Yeah, can I get two?
¿Qué equipo te llega más? Me gusta, o a los que más me gustan cómo juegan es ENG y CLG Counter Logic Gaming, donde está uno que se llama Madness, Low, Baxlon. The same engasados, pero ENG es mi fab. Sí, igual a mí. ENG y CLG son como los dos que más me gusta cómo juegan. De ahí tal vez Liquid también.
There is a team on north side there. Let's go over here.
Yeah, no, they were there already. Remember, I told you I got scanned from. They were playing Res Beacon early. I'm pretty sure it might be complexity.
They got longbows.
Did we get?
Another play we could do if it to get into survey is just padding from this crack right here and fucking sending into one of the RVs, like later.
The only problem with that is like there's people playing fase.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's always going to be something that'll kill us, but
Decisions. I like to say good plan executed poorly. That's worse. I'd rather have a bad plan executed well. It seemed like that was the demise of complexity. Couldn't quite figure it out. SSG in the same position, having to toss up options, but hopefully they find the right one to get them into survey.
Exactly. They want to throw out a handful of different options here, and one of the things that we saw in the complexity listening is things start to change. Everything's situational here in Apex, so that's why you have to have multiple plans, plan A, plan B, plan C, and you could hear at the very end, they were saying, hey, we could even send this into one of those train carts, and those train carts are directly in the middle of surveys, so that depends. That could be taken, and back in the Watson meta, almost every single one of those areas were taken, including underneath the buildings in survey.
That's a great point. The Watson meta is not here, and in some ways, it creates some of these things that Rambo and My Little Phony are doing to be even more successful because there isn't this huge setup in a building where you can't push. But in that same way, people feel a little safer, and when you have that silence, that changes the game. Something from a character that is so defensive and yet very hard to counter against and play against, it can catch you off guard, and I think that's where we saw last circle made a huge impact. We know My Little Phony starts really well, and partly I just think their lineup's working extremely well in this lobby, and I think it's going to catch people off guard unless they specifically plan against what happens if we get silenced here. How are we going to hold against that?
Not a lot of teams are prepared for that, and I don't think that My Little Phony was prepared to run into that lamppost. Rambo, unfortunately, almost, lost a little bit more health than he was hoping for as he was running forward and trying to get over towards the bottom of the building. And now they're going to be coexisting next to Team Content, who, if they do get silenced, a lot of their composition kind of goes out the window, right? It's a great counter towards Caustic. So I love the way that these teams have been playing this, but the teams that are going to be having to be making the rotations outside of these buildings are all going to get gate-capped from the teams that are up on the hill. Say, like Flashpoint is just sitting there and waiting. You also have Team XD up over towards the side. So this really isn't an ideal situation to be in for those teams.
Complexity over on the backside of Survey. Actually doing a great job of holding it back just like Sentinels. We'll catch up with them in a moment because some action here for Rambo and My Little Phony. We'll see how that silence comes in. Right now it's all about the death totem. They've got a little bit of a veil from death, and so we'll see if they can survive. It's what they all want to do. Big knocks there from Fury. He's going to look to go down. Phony Head still coming through. Not damaged enough, but he takes the middle floor. And this is going to be huge. Still, We the People in Content trying to stabilize. They grab him up and turns, holding down that door, buying desperate time for these desperate measures. And both teams backing off just a little bit, Tom.
Really a clinic on how to play this, and you have to back off in that situation because you could see the thirst was coming in desperately for Fury. The idea was to go in there and try to get this big advantage. Once we have that 2 versus 3, we know we can push into that building and infiltrate, but they also get an idea of what composition is being ran, what armors that this team has, and what team it is. When these teams are so closely matched in terms of skill, all of that information rain day really matters.
Content, one of the best LCQ games I think we've seen, and I remember the wall jump finish from We the People. It was fantastic, and great content creator, by the way, specifically, so make sure to go check them all out. Definitely a big name in Apex, or soon to be a household name, alongside SSG here now in the train. Kind of cooped up in a little bit of a battle here against Crummy, Oi, Senpai, and Tempest, and this is really where who gets down first. Been heading over a little closer to Survey as well. Synced, ranked is harder. We saw them deliver the justice, the pain, overall, the TSM and complexity earlier. Synced, he finds it down as well. Dropped, gets Moni in 0+. Full health, holding back, and Caustic Gas in there means they don't quite have too much of a place to retreat quite yet, but they're looking decently until, oh, charge rifle from Phony Head. Oh no, My Little Phony getting involved here. They see an opportunity, and this could spell horror for ranked is harder.
This is not looking good. Ranked as Harder is trapped inside. The finish goes in onto drop. Also in the kill feed, we saw ESA White take out Lazarus. So Lazarus is going to go out in 19th place as ESA White continues to do pretty well in Group C. They're sitting over towards the top of the leaderboard. But this is where things get a little bit interesting here, Rain Day. The zone is starting to close out, and we were discussing how important it is to own this side of the map. That's the beacon building that we were just talking about. Those are where a lot of these kills are going to happen. And speaking of kills, TSM finds themselves in a little bit of fight towards the side.
Pubstars getting gate kept by TSM. What's going to happen, though? Because we all know this can go several different ways. You can't take your eye off a player for a moment, and they're not. Sniped down with the easy drop on a VFL with the zone closing in behind. Hal slows it down, pops a cell. Nice little slide jump as well. Flatline hitting it, the hip fire, and the EVA 8. Man, the only shotgun I want to have in this situation. Just so deadly, especially with the PK back in line. It's poison either way, but both can strike quickly like the venom of a snake. You do not want to mess with it for sure. SSG realize it too, and they say the Mastiff's my choice, Rain Day. Let's see what it can pop. 22s, 9s, not exactly what you want to see, but they get the down anyway, and the G7 finishes it off for Clarified.
And sometimes if you're playing Gimme, the Mastiff will work a little bit better in these bubble fights because the ADS from that Mastiff is always going to give you that extra shield, right? But now they look like they're being flanked over towards the side. That's team content sitting down below them, and you can see they're just waiting for their opportunity to go and push. But the good thing for Space Station Gaming, they kept a majority of their shields, if not all of them, and none of the players get knocked because these players are absolute hawks looking at the kill feed, understanding the situations. As ESA White, they're going to take the high ground over here towards the hill, and you can see that they're not that far from the zone if they want to continue to advance west. But the key is keeping their back safe too. So they have to be basically keeping their heads on a swivel throughout all of this. And here's the potential third party over towards the train tunnel onto Space Station Gaming. Alpine Esports, the #1 team from group number C, wants to get interested.
R-Star down on the ground. Alpine switch away from the Valkyrie, and now they bring the Crypto into the action. Let's see what Hill can do. Going up with a Spitfire, coming down with damage. Gets bursted as well. That's that Mastiff we talked about with the Gibby. Nice bubble dives as well. Alpine looking in trouble. It's up to RKN now. Can he find this? Did they just commit and overcommit indeed? Is it SSG is going to be able to finish it off? RKN has to do it, and no! Oh, boy, SSG. Wow. What a play. They get the first, and then they end up getting the second. No third party on us, good sir.
And it looks like there is a possible player coming in. Corey wants to try to end this one, and he's going to be able to pick up some kills on the ground. That's 2 free kills going on to Corey, so that's fantastic for him. Now it's up to Frex, and that's just so unfortunate because that was a big win. And it's like, oh, why are you still here, Corey? The zone's moving. Basically, everybody getting griefed over towards the side, and you know how many teams and players were sitting over towards the survey side. And that was just a solo. It was Corey coming through and ruining things for Space Station Gaming, and they're actually both going to die from that. So unfortunate situation is everybody that went into that train tunnel basically went down.
Train tunnel, you die. That's basically how it is in Apex competitive, at least in game 2. Complexity have been sitting pretty. Defensive bombardments. Oh my god, the damage! Complexity just raining down. Damage from the skies and from the sides, and Monsoon is happy about it. He doesn't care. The chaos is his friend. He was born in it, and he is the bane of whoever is moving forward towards them on the rock. They've been holding his backside. Can they continue to do so? Nice head peeks as well, but he's got a beautiful egg glitch here. It's going to be so hard to get him in the thermite from Shiny. We'll buy them a little bit of time, but look at Reptar, Tom. What a position. He's got their flank covered. It's going to be so hard to move against these boys, but a nice shot. I think from a Sentinel will actually maybe push him back a little bit.
Pay attention to how all of these players are taking situations where their body is not exposed, but throughout all of that, everybody wants Complexity's spot because that zone pull was insane. So you have ESA White, TSM on top of each other, CLG is starting to go over towards the side, and they're going to take Complexity's spot. And all of these teams who have seen this zone numerous times, everyone was expecting it to pull survey. Complexity banked on over towards the back, but now everybody's collapsing, Rain Day.
ESA White stomps, just has to hit the shield bat, as well as Impulsive. Complexity are in trouble. They've got CLG above them. They got TSM behind them. That's a sandwich I don't ever want to eat or be a part of, and I think they feel the same way as well. Spitfire in their hand, though. A little bit of respite because Reps picking up one of his drop members, but it Stomps. Oh, no, this could be the end of TSM, and it will be. Oh, boy, Stomps putting an end to that. And so it actually, in many ways, makes Complexity's life a little bit easier as ESA White in that fight, not as willing to push and not as desperate because they don't have TSM in between them. So that really was a gift for Complexity, who do have maybe the perfect spot here in this lobby.
I really think that TSM was ready to third party over towards the side once they saw CLG and Complexity fighting. They scanned in front of them, but they didn't scan behind them, and right behind them was ESA White, and they're going to take advantage of this position. But look at all the teams sitting on that west side and that south side. Things are starting to collapse, and this zone is going to be absolutely brutal for everyone besides CLG.
ESA White, CLG Sentinels, did they just get taken down? That's the question here. On the bottom side, you'll see the chaos from above. Gibraltar domes falling like flies. Snowing damage, hailing monsoons, but where is he? Speak of the devil. CLG on Madness going down thanks to Farmer Lucas, who's farming damage here. The wingman, not enough. And CLG, Lou and Vaxlon, they lost Madness, but 2 are still alive in a defensive bombardment. And speak of Complexity and Monsoon, they're the ones who are now about to push. He's got the flat line, nice time to reload. Love the patience, love the play. We all know how good of a guy he is, but he's an even better shot as well. He's looking to aim right down sights.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for
Oh.
CLG that Madness just
position-wise, but Smile has all 3 alive, and well, with time to heal, it's going to be difficult for CLG, Lou, and Vaxlon. It would take a miracle. But we've seen crazier here in the ALGS, especially when it's championship season. So I'd expect nothing but Lou on the red Evo. He has at least a shield advantage over 1. The gold will help for the heal, but not in a fast-paced fight like this. They've got the bubble, but I don't know how you play this, Tom, with 2 left. It's a 3v2.
Do you have any frag grenades if you're Vaxlon?
Yeah.
Because apparently that's what you do. You just toss those and you're going to get multiple kills there. But I just want to point out the amount of respect they're showing CLG. They go back and they say, hey, we can upgrade from purple to red armor. We can continue to get more heals, more ammo. Let's take this methodically. Let's take this slowly, and it's going to be a big bubble fight.
And this is where you want to show up. Will they be able to pull it off? The miracle won't happen, and the only team smiling after that is Team Smile as they claim game 2. A little Octane jump pad for the celebration, and it is well deserved. Fantastic showcase, and even then, knowing how close they were in a 3v2, Tom decided to play that patiently, saying, let's give them respect. We don't want to mess this up. We've already done the work to get here. Let's go ahead and finish strong.
Not only that, they're flying under the radar a majority of the time, right? They kind of waited for all these fights to take place. We saw the big names, CLG, TSM, Complexity all in there. We really didn't get a chance to see Smile, and that's good sometimes in these end zones.
Yeah, and I think you look at ESA White causing a lot of havoc as well. Farmer Lucas doing tons of damage, and just the way that a lot of these teams pressured, it kind of felt like a little bit of the RNG was in favor of Smile, but man, when the RNG is in your favor, the only thing you really have to do as an Apex Pro is take advantage of it. They certainly did. They'll be smiling after that. Let's send it back to the desk, get ready for game 3, and listen to what our wonderful analysts have to say about that one.
Thank you, gents, and I'm sure there's a lot to say about that, absolutely. I think something to do with a pretty impressive zone pull for some of these teams, not so great zone reading from others, and the collapse that ensued. I want to welcome once again Girl from our ALGS broadcast and streamer, and from IGN, we've got Parallax, Stella. Let's start things off, Girl. What did CLG do wrong, and what did Smile do right?
CLG didn't do too much wrong besides Madness getting killed early, but when it came to that 2v3, Vaxlon was definitely MVP of the situation with the grenade, and ended up winning their 2v3. They couldn't win 2 back-to-back 2v3s, but that's okay. They're kind of really hard to pull off.
100%. That's good. That's a highlight waiting to happen. Stella, let's talk me through this final moment and really showcase what Smile, well, why they're smiling. Gosh, that script just writes itself.
That's really good. Yeah, I want to point out the bubble that they used there. They saved it for the last moment, which really saved them. I also want to say that they were against 3v2, which was unfortunate. If they coordinated, if maybe they had their other bubble, they would have been okay, but they played that so well. Just defensively, slowly, and once they downed one, they knew they had it.
100%. Now, I will say the casters had a great question there right at the end, which was, you know, CLG, they could play it so many ways there. Did they play it right, or is this, what would you have done in that similar situation, backs against the wall, down a player? I mean, what do you do in that scenario, and was that the right call?
Honestly, if they had maybe some grenades like arc stars, for example, it might have been more likely for them to pull off a clutch, especially in a bubble fight. But their resources seemed to be low. They weren't able to pull off. They used their grenades in the earlier fight, as we've seen. So honestly, they just had to take it, play the bubble, and unfortunately, they were just outnumbered there.
Outnumbered, out-bubbled. Gunned? Either way. At any rate, let's take a look at what that means for our overall Game 1 results. As a reminder, this is for our groups A and C in the North American region, and then we'll do overalls for both as well. That is not too shabby. You know what, Stella? I'm going to call this a pretty even, balanced leaderboard.
Yeah, surprisingly, it's fairly spread out. I mean, we've got ESA White with 8 kills, which is the most that anyone's gotten here, with Smile at 7 and Counter Logic Gaming at 7 as well. So people were pretty kill hungry, and it seems it's pretty spread out.
Yeah, kill hungry. That's a good way to talk about it, girl. Let's talk about overalls, because this is where things begin to change as we get into Game 2, Game 3, Game 4, Game 5, Game 6.
Yeah, ESA White definitely were able to find some third parties or find some great angles, especially on TSM. But here are overall leaderboards of today. My Little Phony on top, still on top. Smile went up 6 placements. If you see the 6 with the green arrow, up arrow, they're only 1 point behind My Little Phony. Sentinels only went down 1. They're still at 24. Very, very strong.
100%. And I also want to mention ESA White, as we talked about. We saw a lot of them early on, and guess what? They're up 11 places here as well. Yeah. Thank you, absolutely. And that's what we'll say there. But let's talk about this, girl. Break down some of these highlights we've got coming to you, because there were a lot of different pivotal moments within this entire game that ultimately led to this final circle.
Absolutely. This is the Revenant team, My Little Phony. Very good. It's always nice to get a knock when you're in that ultimate form, because then your team can come back and finish it off. Fury here playing as a solo, coming in with the EVA 8, but unfortunately gives that kill point to Sentinels right there. So that gives Sentinels an extra kill point. Not a problem. Here we have TSM playing it out. And they're getting a kill point on, I believe, Pub Stars. Yes, Pub Stars. So they wiped out Pub Stars in this game. And this is the end zone where we find that Vaxlon gets the triple kill basically here. They get all 3 kills. He's reviving Lou there for the final fight. And then it all comes down to this, the 3v2 situation. Smile played this nice because they played right beside the rock there, forcing the other team to come on closer, and then they pulled off all the shots they needed to win that fight. If they played a little bit further and allowed the other team to shoot them from afar, then they could have been damaged, and maybe they would have been able to pull off that 2v3, but they played really smart beside the rock. Line of sight is always key.
Always key. I like that. Hey, you know, one of those pivotal moments became pretty easy to see. It featured We the People in that fantastic Octane jump pad. And that is something that we have seen in an earlier game, the LCQs to be exact. They've actually made a name for themselves as a team here in the ALGS Championships. Let's take a listen to hear their perspective of this momentous occasion.
Hey everyone, my name is TJ, better yet known as We the People. I've been playing Apex since about a week after it started.
Ya casi empieza el siguiente match del otro lobby.
I mean, have more points with those 2 games than they did on day 1. So this is how Apex works. One bad day does not mean that you're out of the tournament. And that's how you have to think. Does it hurt? For sure. Bad days suck. It's very hard to overcome those things. But when it comes down to it, one bad day doesn't mean one bad tournament. One bad day means one bad day. You can still make up for it for the rest. All right. And here we go. No teams really changing it up. C9 is going to probably be staying on the Octane. And I don't think we're going to see many teams swapping their style again. It's extremely uncomfortable to do so. But I would like to see some teams that are on Octane using a little bit more of Wraith. I can't lie. I definitely think that Wraith is needed in some of these circles, especially with pulling back into the south side endings. Rotations with the pad is not as easy as rotations with the portal. All right, and here we go. Exit, the champions of your last game. And game 3 we are moving on to. And we're going to start off with whatever we want because no one's fighting off spawn, so it does not matter. We're going to head over, though, to Exet and company on the crypto so we can actually see what zone they get immediately. Because with Exet having a crypto, they get recon quicker than anyone else in the game, as well as, who's the other crypto? As well as Absolute Monarch. We have one more, and D Presley, there you go. So it actually is 3 crypto teams. I'm sorry, I misread that. I said 2 before, my apologies. And they're going to be landing Harvester here, and the beacon that they can hit in Harvester is only Sorting Factory, so it's not going to be as easy for them to get where they want to be. All teams going to the same spot, Greek and them working their way from Epicenter. It's a very tough day for Greek, considering, wow, look at the risk that Naughty and them take on this beacon. Zach and C9 rotating all the way from Land Fragment, and Naughty takes this building by himself with the beacon and rotates down. The fact that no one has landed on Naughty yet is absolutely mind-boggling to me, because if I see that as free KP, I'm going to take it, dude. I'm definitely going to try to take the fight here. But I guess everyone's a little bit nervous in the finals. You don't really want to make any risky decisions. Acronym landing East Frag. I don't know why Acronym landed East Frag. I don't like this spot very much. You're going to be running into teams if you do make it in farther in the finals. And this might be another south side ending. This could definitely go maybe Sorting Side or Harvester. I'm hoping for a pull over in these areas. And look at this. Kenny immediately, and Fun, immediately saying they want this Dorito, which is where Fun thinks it's ending. Well, they don't know yet, and they were going to have to try to get a beacon because this circle can pull a lot of different ways. As an IGL, I'm thinking Harvester, Sorting, I'm thinking over here. There's a lot of different spots, and another south side ending, making it very tiresome to keep going with these teams on top, having to rotate all the way down. And as we see, no one fighting, everyone's playing their spots. And to me, I think the worst drop spot, or the hardest drop spot to play, not worst, don't want to say that, the hardest drop spot to play is Dome in Apex Legends. There's not much to work with. You have to rotate through this. It's extremely difficult. So the zone is coming out, and it looks like it might actually be a south side ending over near Donut and Sorting. This is great for Fun FPS. They can work very quickly into Sorting. This is going to be great for Rack and company, but any other north side teams are going to be struggling heavily making it in to this bottom side Sorting, and I don't think it's going to be possible for them to get there early enough to actually feel comfortable rotating in. And as we see, Stink and them moving on up, they're going to try to rotate through Fragment East, but I don't think they know that Mooney, Voltic, and Ack are actually still in Frag East taking their time looting, and they actually might cause a fight here. White, blue coming out for the Wally Catchers, and I actually think their armor in Epicenter is way worse than anything they're getting in Launch Site. But they cannot fight off spawns, they know this, and they're settling for the worst armors and the harder spots.
Hola, soy tu fan 1. ¿Qué tal, Donny? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenido.
As we look at this map here,
Saludos, saludos.
so this is going to be a nice little gift for Kodagami and them to actually rotate in the zone. And we see Energy and Sweet.
¿De dónde me saludas, Donny?
To Harvester side, they're going to take this balloon most likely, and they're going to try to get out of here. Hopefully, no one on that D Presley side looks at the balloon. They don't see him. I don't know if you think
Voy a poner el chat visible en lo que empieza el siguiente match.
Everyone's on the balloon. Nathan a little bit late here, but they're still not getting looked at. I'm very surprised he's got the balloon for free. D Presley and company not even taking a peep over Energy, and we're going to watch the rotate here to see how Energy Sweet wants to play this as the IGL and the controlling commander of Energy, and how he wants to play the Sorting Factory sorting zone. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to be moving on the bottom side Snake. Bottom side Snake is very, very reasonable to fight in. It's very reasonable to rotate through. It's extremely safe. It's just a little bit dark, so it's hard to see at times where everyone is. But as long as you're working with that, with your stance, you're fine. I think I heard a team behind Energy here on the Croissant. I could be wrong. And you know I was wrong, actually. I thought I heard something. But D Presley and them are actually following right behind. They're right next to Energy and company. And they're throwing a team themselves, so Energy's going to be in a spot here that can get sandwiched. Rotating here is not bad. Playing here is extremely difficult, especially if a caustic team does decide to fight you here. And let's see if they try to establish dominance here and hold this. Nathan is keeping the scout over the R9, which is a very interesting choice when he does have purple armor already. I feel like especially inside he should be picking up that R9, but I don't know what I don't know anything. So he does have the Volt here, so I guess that's fine, but I'm still not comfortable with my Bloodhound on the scout. They are going to look for shots here, which I believe is Presley's team. White Armor coming out on that Octane. NRG looking to make an advancement here. And if they fight this can get third party extremely quick. But I think they're going to try to take a push back onto these guys and force them out of the glass. And let's see what happens here. The 15 red coming out on the drone, and they're going to be backing up hella quickly. They don't want anything to do with NRG, especially probably popping them for a purple armor and realizing this is not worth the fight. And they're going to go, croissant. And they're going to try to sit up there and hold energy. The ulti does come out. The armor drop does happen. And if you're quick enough, that damage does not come out for the crypto. And we're going to watch energy control this whole glass side. And it's going to be extremely difficult with no cost, depending on who comes in. But as of right now, no one's really working in. Look at Six and Metro working their way from Skyhook's side all the way into Harvester already. One of the faster rotating teams and things you love to see. Look at the work from Stink and company, getting into bottom sorting, establishing a spot in probably the next 2 circles, depending on where this goes. There's multiple sides where this can lead. There's multiple sides where this zone could go to, but where you are is not a bad spot, and I don't know if they know this, but it is a 3-man above and below in the toilet bowl, so they don't want to sit there. And those 2 teams might end up fighting. That spot right there is extremely killable for this team up top, Stink to be overlooking down onto toilet bowl. But I don't know if Stink wants to get that aggressive. I don't think he wants to give me an opportunity. But if I'm Kodagami, I am peeking with my white armor to try to get me a blue onto these teams sitting inside toilet. And more scans coming out from Greek. No scans are going to be hitting. And there's still 2 teams there, though. Fun FPS taking the backside of glass, so Sweet's going to be next to them. Bronzy them taking launch site, and more ultis coming out from President Co. And G2 is still on the top side of staging crafting, and they're not even caring about zone. They just want their armor up, they want their everything up, and they're going to be white, they're going to be blue, probably most likely coming out of this if I take a guess for the homies over on Gentrifying and company. Or maybe just white, blue with a 50 damage to their whites upgraded, which is a really good job, taking their loot, making sure of it. But now look at this. Liquid's going to be coming from the train tunnel, and I want to see Liquid with the blue gold, way better armor than G2, and a fight might break out here by accident. I don't think any of these teams want to fight this, especially where the zone is pulling. But look at this. They're walking right in front of each other. I think Liquid's going to have the first sight on the G2. They're checking the right side here. And Alberelli's not dumb. He's going to know to look on this right side to see if teams are rotating in. And the jump pad is there. They do come out. And more shots coming out from Alberelli here, trying to get some shots on the G2. And white armor on Resulta. Resulta getting absolutely demolished. And I'm surprised they give the white armor from Resulta, from Denver to Resulta. That is the Gibraltar player. And they're going to take a jump pad over here. Resulta and them are actually holding that spot. And they're going to try to get this kill on the Resulta on the rock if they start rotating again. The bubble does come out. A very early bubble, but this jump pad is going to be extremely dangerous for Resulta to take if he does have white armor. And they're talking about Resulta going down. Alberelli with the tracking, and G2 is going to be in a soup sandwich here. And you know TSM is going to want to get the G2 boys out. They're a team ahead of them inside their group, and they want blood. They want to make sure this team has a bad day today to see if they can get them out of that top 2 spot. And the nades coming out for Alberelli with the stick on Octane. Desightful going down. Alberelli with the Tom Brady stick. Absolute dart. They get the kill on the design, and that leaves Resulta and Gentrifying alone. And don't forget, Resulta still has white armor, so Liquid can easily come and fight this still. Unbelievable, Alberelli, and that's what he does. He is the wild card. The things that Alberelli can do is unlike no other. That's what he's good at. And there's shots on Resulta going down, and he has no heals. Everything's being torn apart for G2 as we speak, and I don't think the banner grabs are going to be actually a part of this for G2 at all. They're going to get 2 KP onto the best team, one of the best teams in this lobby, and Liquid is feeling themselves. They're going to go and kill Gentrifying here or look for the spots that they can fight him in, and they want this. I know they do, and this is the right call. Liquid getting out G2 early is 100% the play, and they're searching around. They're looking for footsteps. I think they know Zach with the Queen wipes on his Zeratrick and company, so C9 getting some amazing KP onto the boys over there, and that was the fastest wipe. They all died in half a second. I couldn't even watch. And more shots on the Gentrifying. Alberelli with the Spitfire, an absolute menace to society. 45 bullets, and the tracking that he has is unmatched. One of the best in the game. Alonzo replies. Him and Replies have the best tracking. It's so annoying to fight against. But they're going to maybe back off here. Might be getting a little too aggressive. Only 60 ammo on the Spitfire. Wasting a lot of ammo on one person only. And it looks like they are going to do what I just said. They're going to back off, and they're going to start to focus on rotate. Because Gentrifying is not going to be able to get those banners anymore. And as we see, G2 with another not-so-good start to another game. And Gentrifying, look how far he is in this zone. And he's going to have a long way to go. No banners are going to be grabbed. Definitely not Resultas, I don't think. I definitely not design fools, maybe Resultas, but what a horrible start for G2 and the boys. You hate to see it. As more teams start to funnel in to sorting side, Lifty and them are going to be rotating straight into Liquid, and C9 taking the tracks over here to get this to get this gold bag. Unbelievably amazing drop. Gold bag in competitive play is unmatched on a Gibraltar. It is 100% a game changer when you get knocked, and you could turn off a team from wanting to fight you at all when you have to go bag, or even turn the tides with just a single res. And they do have the 3 KP coming out for C9, so they did get a clean wipe on the Cyril and company. Unbelievable job from Liquid and the boys. And Liquid's now going to be accidentally again walking into another team. Let's see if Absolute Monarchy sees them, but they're going to actually decide to leave that. They know they're coming, and Liquid decides to leave and maybe even gatekeep on this backside of where they want to go, on top of side of the tracks, which is the right call here. Get to your spot, hold your zone, and gatekeep this team instead of fighting them on the edge. Right call, totally. They know teams are going to be rotating in. There's not much you can do in this scenario, fighting-wise. You just got to let stuff happen organically. Forcing anything here can result in a third party or you leaving the game early. And Nocturnal going to be taking this zip line up, most likely. Very safe, as long as there's not a team there with the scan, and they're good to go. They're actually going to be trying to make a wave. Oh my god, more shots coming out. Which team is that? That's going to be actually Duplex and Company. But the bat's going to be coming out from Nocturnal. Nothing's going to happen here. I don't think anything bad, but they are getting looked at from multiple teams. Arcstar's coming out to slow down the rotation. Let's see if Nocturnal does get down here. No one getting down, but look at Albertelli. He's going to be in the backside here. Crypto coming out, going to get hit by it. Flanker's going to be getting damaged here as well, and they're going to all be okay. Bats coming out. Full heals are going to be coming out. I don't think they're going to have any more problems after this rotate. Once he pops this Phoenix, they're good to go, but they need to make sure they get out of this clean. One down here could result in an int and them leaving the game early again, which you don't want to do when you're starting off this hot. Nice. Good batch trades. That means they don't have a lot of meds here though. And 19 squads of 55 as we look. Sorting Factory is one of those zones that has a lot of spots to sit in. As you sit inside Sorting Factory, look how many places you can go to. Look here, here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 spots still available inside of Sorting, and teams need to start to look for this. I guarantee a Valk team will take one of these spots, realizing that it is free, but does this zone pull Sorting, or does it pull more down south? We've seen zones just keep sticking to the south side, and this zone pulling down here or around this area could be huge for Joey Blackout and the boys, and really, really bad for 6, because where do you go from here? Do you rotate on the top, bottom? What do you want to do in these scenarios? The zone is going to be a huge indication of where to go, and we're going to see Zen finding the route here, man. Not much to do at all. Solo, didn't get any of the banners, no res is possible, does have a PK Arthur 1, but Octane, like I said, 3v1 scenarios for Octane did get a lot harder with the stims hitting for 20 HP, so 1v3 a pro team with stim problems and all that stuff is not easy. He's going to get shot at right here immediately on the jump pad coming out, and there's more shots raining down and it's fine. The fact he's here alive right now is very impressive. Zip lining up on the gentrifying. He's going to have to watch out and make sure the team doesn't chase him for KP. And the zone does pull a little bit more Sorting / launch side. This could pull top side launch site, which is huge for Bronzy. And if they called this, they are actually geniuses for making this spot perfect for them. Gentrifying 1 HP, going to go down to Duplex and Co. And G2 with another 0-point game going out at 19th. Absolutely critical of their gameplay today. That's just what happens. Liquid and Company going to be moving up on the Panda. Voltic and them are going to be going down. We're going to get some kills on the Strictly. Strictly and Kim Chi's team are going to be going down. As we take a look, Liquid's going to be looking down on top of them. And I don't know what C9 wants to do here, as KNG and Bowser's team are going to be fighting most likely. So we're going to pop it on over. Metro walking in over here. And let's see if Metro does commit onto this fight with C9. C9 is here, and they're going to have to fight. The bubbles are going to have to come out. Bubble coming down from C9, and Metro's on the backside. Going to need to get a scam. Pander's all by himself. He's playing so separate, but he does get the heals back up, and they're going to be looking to get some shots here on them. Metro needs to commit to this. He does have the best armor in the game, and the shots are going to depend a lot on him to turn this fight around. More shots coming out. The Valk stun going in, and a bat going to be popped by Panders. Shots from Metro not connecting at all. Only has 49 damage so far in this gunfight, but more is going to have that from here if they want. Look at the cracks coming out from C9. Oh my god, 136 damage. No capitalizing on this, though. They do push down a little bit, but they're going to have to back up. 6 does go down. Knocked with the wingman on top of Metro going to go down here as well. That Pander's going to be all by himself in the 1v2. Metro by himself. Can he do it? 1 HP. And he's going to get the sell-off, but what is he going to do from here? He dies from the left, and Blitz's going to get the full kill on him. Now it's going to be a 1v1 with Blitzen versus Naughty, and is Blitzen and Naughty going to actually fight this? What is he doing? Blitzen not capitalizing on this at all. He's scared, and they're going to back up. No shots coming down at all. Gonna get the grenade kills and more shots. And C9 goes down to a single red after they fight. Blitzen capitalizing on 3 KP from C9. What an amazing job by Blitzen. Played it slow. Got all the knocks with nades and a really good job. He not only got the 1 KP from Naughty, he steals the 3 KP from Six and Co. And he gets the full 3. He now has 4 KP in total after killing Metro in the 1v1 scenario. Unbelievable job. Great job by Blitzen with the patience, and we'll move on over to another team. Shout out to Blitzen, unbelievable plays. I'm very proud of him for making a play like that. Awesome job. And more teams are going to be fighting here. Bowser and them are going to be creeping out. We're going to look over to Bowser here. The bubble's going to be absolutely huge to fight in the launch side. I don't think they're going to have anyone behind them. Bowser's main concern is there is a team, but I don't think it's possible. This is going to be a solid 3v3 only in launch site, and they know, Phoenix knows that this is going to happen most likely if they do fight. KNG in a not so great spot here, sandwiched between 2 possible teams for the third party. Let's see. Bowser going to be playing patient here with the flat line. Got on a single fire for the anvil. I want to know if this team, Bowser does have multiple options here. They can fight this with a bubble up, or they can Valcolt out. Don't forget, Valcolt provides that last minute service. Okay? To get into zone extremely quick. And the zone does indeed pull frontside launch. And look at Avs, Duplex and company sitting in the RV, one of the best spots in the game for this circle. And Energy's also going to be in a great spot. But are they going to have enough room to work with all these teams rotating in? And we're going to ride all over to Sweet & Co. Caustics and everything are going to be making their way over here. And this is very bad for all the teams inside of... More shots coming down. Flanker going to get knocked on a Yub, actually. And this is going to be where Energy most likely actually takes advantage of these teams fighting and capitalize on the damage coming out. Let's see if Energy decides to move up a little bit and take this fight to Liquid and company. Gibraltar ulti down. Energy still has their up. Rocker playing extremely slow. The scan is coming out from Liquid. I wonder
Mencos, ¿cómo vamos?
Is Energy going to still force their way in? And Rocker and them seem to make a decision
Cuenta
very quickly,
Mencos.
but actually recall that. And Nathan's still inside glass, so I don't think they're going to fight this. Sweet playing a little bit aggressive here. Gets cracked, but he should be okay. I don't think anything's going to happen off that. If he did get knocked, that'd be extremely bad, but they should be all right now. The stim does come out, and they're fine. Xset, Clane fighting in this backside. Clane and company are going to be in the middle of everybody here.